Pretty good weekend. Coming off no midweek game, so you get a little bit of rest, a little bit of time to practice, and you come out and get a sweep. Just talk about kind of how good that feels, especially after last weekend.
Mhm. Yeah, it was a great week. What a difference a week makes. One, it was 97 degrees yesterday, and last week I think it was 40 whatever, low 40s on Sunday. So, no, I thought our guys played very well. For the most part, it's 27 innings over the course of a weekend. We did some things well. There was some moments where we didn't do some things well, but at the end of the day, man, showed some toughness and some grit, and found a way to win a couple one-run games, one-pitch games on Friday and Saturday, and then got a little more separation on a Sunday. But very proud of them. You know, took a gut punch last week, kind of got knocked down, first time in a long time. I felt like they would respond well, and they did. They answered the bell, and so that's credit to those guys, man. Like they fought through some adversity over the course of the week, which is a great trait to have right now in collegiate athletics, but it'll bode them well long term as well.
And it's your first series sweep since pre-conference. Back in March was the last time you got a sweep. So how good does that feel to be able to have a team come in and you win all 3 games in that series?
Sweeps are difficult to come by, and I think that's when you look at just the grand scheme of things in Division I baseball, man, it's everybody's got an arm, and matchups make fights at times, and sometimes you get a left-hander that does a good job of holding your left-handed hitters down, or right-handed on right-handed. So to go through multiple looks offensively, to go through our guys are all different from a starting perspective. So yeah, I was just overall proud, excited for our guys and the way they responded. To win a game by 1 run on Friday, it was tight the whole time through. We got down 7-2 in the 5th on Saturday, man, and just kept fighting. And then Ben had the big knock there in the bottom of the 9th to walk it off. So, which is really cool. Saturday was a cool day for our program with the grand opening of Bullock Brothers Ballpark. So to have it end with a walk-off is pretty unique. The last game of last year, we also ended in a walk-off, which was kind of the last look at the original Crutcher Scott Field. So it's bookended there with closing of one with a walk-off, and then I guess opening of another officially with a walk-off. So it's cool for Ben to do that as a senior.
And I mean, no midweek game this week. You guys were able to stay home, relax, kind of recover after a tough stretch against, I think, the top 3 teams in the WAC.
Yeah.
Did that play any kind of factor of just being able to get back to Abilene Christian baseball, and did we see that this weekend?
Yeah, I thought our guys worked real well. I thought we've had 2 really good weeks. It's odd. Baseball, man, you almost want to play. You just kind of get in a rhythm of playing games. Our sport's unique in terms of you've got really a 2-hour practice window prior to playing with BP. So you can get in a pregame routine where you can get some work in. There's a weight room component to it. So when you don't play, it's just a 2-hour practice and there's no at-bats. And on the pitching side, it's, you don't play 9 innings extra a week. It's 9 innings that we're not utilizing some of our personnel and bullpen. So we would all rather play, although practice is extremely important. But I thought our guys did a good job with that. You used the word relax. I don't know that relaxing is probably what we did last week, but at the same point in time, we did try to reset, I think, as we now it's the opposite, because now we've got, I think, 6 games in the next 8 days or something like that when you look at it on paper. So we'll go from not playing enough to probably playing a little bit too much. So efficiency will be the key on the mound here as we push through the next 7-8 days.
And just the response you guys had in just a week's time to get swept for the first time, I think you said 56 series or some outrageous number, and you come back the next week and you get your a very own sweep of your own. What does that say about your team and how proud of you are on that response?
Well, we talk about 3 things quite a bit. The first word is humility in our program. It's just putting others' needs in front of your own. There's an energy component to what we talk about, and just showing up with some passion and with some want to each day. And then the last one is toughness. And if we want to claim to be a tough program and a tough team, you've got to be able to handle some hard things. And I thought our guys did that last week. one thing we talked about last Sunday was, man, it's never as bad as it seems, and it's never as great as it seems. So, like, we got humbled last weekend. I thought we answered that in a really good way this week, but at the same point in time, if we feel like we've arrived today because we took care of business this past weekend, tomorrow night's coming. So it's just an ebb and flow of it. But yeah, absolutely proud of our guys. I think the alumni is probably proud of our guys, the ACU community, just for the fact that there wasn't a lot of give-in over the course of the weekend, because Friday and Saturday weren't easy, So we're still trying to figure out a few things, but when you learn while you're winning, it's much more enjoyable for everybody involved.
Now you're looking ahead. You got a few Lone Star matchups.
Yeah.
I know you got UIW this coming midweek, and then you're traveling to Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about those kinds of matchups and just how important they really are.
Yeah, so we've got UIW tomorrow here at home. Last game of a pretty good home stand. So hopefully we've got a good crowd and a good showing there with some purple and white in the crowd. We jump on I-20 and travel down to Arlington, which a lot of our players are from that DFW area. So that's always a good trip for us. We recruit a lot in DFW. There's a lot of our alumni base in DFW. So anytime we can go over there and play, it's good. It's on I-20. We want to do a really good job on I-20, and to win those recruiting battles, you need to win some games on the field. So not that it's just elevated to a different degree, but there is a little bit of pride in it when you're playing someone in state. So then we'll wrap up this little run here with Texas Tech here next Monday, which is a weird game day for college baseball. So, but no, we'd love to have a lot of folks out a week from today, and then we'll go to Lubbock on Tuesday. So again, a lot of baseball crammed into a short window of time. So our guys will be challenged in some different ways that haven't been.
And speaking of that, with all those games, they're all in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to hop on a plane.
Yep.
You don't have to kind of change time zones. Just how key is that you're kind of able to stay in state only a few hours away, if that? How key is that when it comes to playing?
No, we'll appreciate it because it's unusual. Like for us, we're just accustomed to 4-hour midweek games, 5-hour midweek games. We're on a bus in the morning, we go play, and we come back home. So to be able to, one, play at home tomorrow night, but two, drive 2.5 hours over to play at UTA, and then get back home. Hopefully we'll be in our beds at a good time before Easter Sunday. With it being Good Friday, we play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this weekend. Or Easter Sunday, we don't play. So play here Monday, and then we go play in Lubbock. So it's 2.5, and it's 2:15, which is a lot better than flying to Utah or Seattle at times. So even though those are cool trips, and that's part of the college experience, but you'd much rather just jump on a bus and get there and show up and go.
So, official opening weekend for Bullock Brothers Ballpark, you started off in style with the walk-off,
Yeah.
big sweep. How do you think, this whole series is going to propel this team, riding this high? It seems like a very good point of momentum.
Yeah. No, I think when you look at where we are, we're getting into the last third, if you will. We're not in the fourth quarter yet, but we're at the end of the third. Obviously, momentum is just critical in collegiate athletics. So it can get stymied pretty quick on a weekend. I think your starting pitching has so much to do with that. But I know our guys are feeling a lot better today, just on the overarching, one, performance, but two, they should feel good about answering the bell a little bit and showing some grit, and hopefully getting some momentum as we push through a pretty daunting challenge here with 6 games, and again in a short amount of time. So I would like to think there's some momentum that's tied to the weekend, but man, each Monday is its own week, and we really try to do a good job of being disciplined with that message. So we'll show up today, and they'll get ready for Tuesday night. But yeah, we've got 4 WAC weekends left, and then Indiana's coming here for our bye weekend. So it'll be a race to the end. It always seems to come down to the last game, last inning sometimes.
And then, the pitching appeared to be better.
Yeah.
So, what'd you make of that group's performance this series?
So it's Abilene, Texas. It's on paper, some numbers were better this weekend, but there's also some numbers on paper from last weekend when you look at it. The wind was just blowing straight out last week, 25 to 30 miles an hour, and the wind was blowing kind of in this week, 20 miles an hour. So, man, it's just never neutral normally, So some of the balls that were hit this week are outs, and some of them that were hit last weekend ended up being home runs. But I think we only walked 4 guys, as a staff. So when you walk 4 guys and strike out 33 in a weekend, you should probably be in position to win most of those games. And we eliminated the slug. I think we only gave up 1 home run this weekend. So when you look at that on paper, if we can do that the rest of the way, we're going to be in a really good spot to win a bunch of series. But same point in time, other teams are trying to do the same. We got to face some good arms, and a 3-2 ball game may be, what it takes to win. So, no, again, after you get touched up and give up 36 runs, there is a challenge to that. And again, I think they did a really good job of answering the challenge.
You mentioned earlier, the importance of doing well on the road on I-20, for recruiting. But you have an opportunity this weekend to have a winning conference record.
Yeah.
How huge would that be to go into play UT Arlington, get a winning conference record, and just carry that momentum?
Yeah, it would be critical, and if we can go do that on the road, it'd be even more important, I think. So, when you dig yourself a hole the first 3 weekends, then you just got to start that climb. And there's some fun in that. There's some fun in the journey of that. It's not fun in getting pinned down early on, but to your point, if we can just start to stack some series wins, the good part, all the teams are in front of us, including Utah Tech last week, and now we're in front of them, and we've got a tiebreaker, so we can do the same. You keep just kind of pushing yourself up the line. So we'll take it, the coaching speak of 1 game at a time, certainly. But, man, we do know it's important to kind of get back on the winning series side of things. And when we have an opportunity to sweep like we did yesterday, take advantage of it and show up and do it. So, nope, this will be another good opportunity to win a WAC series.
All right. Thank you, guys. little bit of a interesting weekend. You didn't have WAC games, so
Yeah.
that's the key thing. But you go over to Waco, take on Baylor in a doubleheader. Not necessarily able to get the job done, but you're playing a really tough opponent. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously didn't go as we expected it to go. I think definitely I wish we could go back and redo some of what happened. I don't think Lena had her best weekend. And like we've talked about before, we don't have enough up and down the lineup right now that's consistent to, afford those type of days, which is unfortunate. And it's not her fault. We just have to be better defensively and offensively behind her. And then, beyond that, I think that we learned a lot, and that's what I had to tell them moving forward. It's that, you have to figure out where we're at in this time of the season and figure out how to grind it out for the next 3 weeks, because those 3 weeks, they matter. They're the big difference in where we sit in the conference at the end of it and where we're going to, be at the end when we are, going into conference tournament. And so every game in conference matters at this point. And, we're at a point where we also play the top teams left. We're tied with Cal Bap right now, and then we play both the top of Tarleton this weekend and then GCU the last weekend. So definitely have our work cut out for us, but the destiny of our, future is in our own hands, I guess. So I guess that's a good place to be.
And the importance of conference play, how kind of, I don't want to say fortunate, but is it that you weren't playing WAC opponent this weekend when you had that little bit of a lull? And how can you use that as a learning experience going into this big time matchup next week?
Yeah, I think exactly what you just said. Of course, it didn't go our way, so we have to learn, we have to get better, we got to grow. So I think it's just refocusing and getting back after it this week and preparing for Tarleton. I mean, they're a good team. They have a great offense, and they have a couple good pitchers in the circle. So just adjusting and getting better at our weaknesses ultimately, because there's no secrets at this point. So it's, who really shows up and can execute on any given day.
And now your team seems to always respond to getting punched. You took a bit of a punch this weekend. So what are you looking forward to this weekend when you have Tarleton here at ACU?
Yeah, I think the biggest goal is we got to come out and attack from the start, and we've talked about that all year. And I think we just finally need to be able to break through and do it, and it'd be great to do it at home, and it'd be great to do it against Tarleton. They're playing really hot right now. They've been hot the last couple of weeks, so kind of stop some of their momentum. And obviously we're at home, so we have our home field advantage. So really just want to take it to them.
And you've already experienced one West Texas rivalry in Texas Tech. There's another one here.
Yeah.
This one might be even better against Tarleton. Just talk about the competitive juices that flow whenever you play your rival in a conference game at your own home park.
Yeah, big time. I think it'll be a good game all around, good series, and we're playing that doubleheader on Friday, so I think it's just gonna be throwing punches back and forth and trying to do our best to scrape out wins against them. And like I said, every game matters at this point where we're at. It's coming to the end, so and we're all sitting real tight in conference still. So it's just battling it out and trying to get our athletes to continue to buy in, even when it's hard, even when things aren't going their way.
Well, first of all, I enjoyed meeting your dog last week.
Which one? You met one?
The
Rookie.
What is it? Poodle
Rookie, yeah.
He's a very good boy. And you have this opportunity here. You guys are, I believe, one game below 500 in conference play. Big rivalry series coming up this weekend. How big would it be to take the series, get to a winning conference record, and kind of just have that going forward?
Yeah, huge momentum, and that's what I said. My biggest message was right after the second loss on Saturday. It's like we have to get back to work and get back to business. Like we control how we want to finish this, and we are so close and closer than I think a lot of people thought we would be. So the fact that we're still in the hunt, I think, should be enough motivation for them. And I'm hoping that like I said, that practice this week can follow us into the weekend, and that we'd be able to see our work pay out for us a little bit. So but it's going to be a battle. It's not going to be easy.
Now, let's talk about your shortstop, Audrey. She's obviously missed some time, has been dealing with something for a very long time. I guess talk to me about her and what you take away from her story.
Yeah, she's just a relentless competitor. I think, this game has a way of bringing a lot of people together from a lot of different backgrounds with a lot of different stories, and everyone's story is different, and every story is worth sharing. And Audrey's is definitely one of the ones that, pull on your heartstrings a little bit. But I think at the same time, it's like softball's been her greatest motivator in helping her get through everything that she's battled. So I'm super proud of her, and I think you're going to continue to see great things out of her, not just this year, but in years to come.
And having her back in the lineup after she missed some of that time, how much of a boost was that for, the team to get her back?
Oh, definitely. I mean, defensively more than anything, she's definitely our anchor out there on the left side. So, we feed a lot of ground balls just the way that we throw and the teams that we go up against. So it was huge having her back and hopefully keep her there.
She said that she had never played shortstop before this year, and then
Yeah.
she was just kind of like, well, it's not going to hurt for me to try it in
Yeah.
the fall.
Yeah. It's funny. That was like the first conversation we had, just because of the way that things unfolded. We lost middles and we didn't really have anybody else. So I know I went and got Romero, but didn't really have another option outside of that. And so she kind of just took it upon herself that she wanted to practice and then worked really hard this fall. And it helps when you throw, 70 miles overhand, you can get away with a lot. So, so she's been great there. I think she's willing to continue to learn every day. And I think really that's ultimately what you want in an athlete, is that they want to keep getting better every single day that they have the opportunity to. And so if she continues that, she will continue to get better.
And then, what message do you think she sends to you, the team, anyone in the Abilene community when, in spite of everything that she deals with, she continues to show up in the face of adversity?
Yeah, resiliency. I think that's the biggest thing, and just grateful for the opportunity. We all have whatever it is that we do in our daily lives, and it's so easy to take advantage or take it for granted, and instead of take advantage of the opportunity. And I think that she just reminds us all of that we really do have a good life, and honestly, I get to coach my favorite game every single day, and it's such a blessing. And the same thing for them; they get to live out their dream every single day.
I have one more question. No midweek this week. You get a little bit of not break, but you get time to practice, you get time to kind of reset that mentality. How important is that coming into a big time contest against Tarleton, that you get an entire week of pretty much preparation?
Yeah, just breaking down individually a lot, more than even just team at this point. I think, it's just continuing to make those little adjustments that are going to make us better defensively and offensively. So we'll be able to work some individuals today and tomorrow, and then do a little team on Wednesday and Thursday.